devotional, and we are in Amos. We're continuing the the minor prophet Amos, in our study for the Old Testament. And today is Amos chapter 3, verses 9 through 12. If you haven't read it, go ahead and stop the tape, read it. If you have, we're going to go into the 4 questions. So let's go ahead and dive into it if you've already read. What is it saying? That's the first question we ask. What is Amos actually saying? Well, he goes on and he says this. He says, listen. Or actually, I'm sorry. He says, proclaim. He says, proclaim. So I don't know who he's talking to or who he's telling to do this. But what he does is he tells, go get their neighbors. Go get Egypt. He says, go get Ashdod. He said, tell them to come check out what's happening in Israel. So last episode, I kind of talked about how they're in this covenant relationship and that Amos is kind of acting as a lawyer to prove the case of their sinfulness or their breaking of the law, the covenant that God and them had come to an agreement to do. And so in this, he's bringing witnesses. And in Deuteronomy, I believe it talks about how they are condemned under the witness of two people. And so God is doing that in this instance. He's calling Egypt and he's calling Ashdod to come and bear witness to the atrocities that the people of Israel are doing. He says, look at the tumult or the terror, not terror, I'm sorry, the tumult or the panic that's ensuing in the people that are there. It's like the peace that's supposed to be there because of the law of God and his goodness and his governance is not there. Everybody's in a panic or tumult. And then he says also look at the oppression that's going down in that place. And look at the judges, the lawyers, the everybody who is supposed to be in a position of authority is taking that position and pushing the poor and the needy down, and they're causing just stress and panic again from the oppression that they're doing there. He says, "Come and take a look at that. Come and see Egypt and Ashdod, man." And he says, "They don't even know right. They don't even know right, man." That's crazy. He says they don't even know right. And then he continues to say, man, that they're gathering up violence and robbery. And so he says, because of this, he says, your enemy's going to surround you and they're going to plunder you. They're going to violate and rob you. And then he gives an example. He says, like, like what is saved from a shepherd. It's like what a shepherd delivers from the mouth of the lion is like two limbs, or he says, or maybe a piece of ear. And so what that means is like a shepherd, whenever he would come back and a piece of his flock would be missing, he would have to actually go after the wolf or the lion or whatever, the bear or whatever killed the lamb. He'd have to, bring evidence that that lamb was killed by that. And so he'd have to get a limb or a piece of ear or something to bring back to the owner, so that he could prove that it was the dangers of the wear and not his own self that just ate it himself. You know what I mean? And so he wouldn't have to pay for that shepherd, or he wouldn't have to pay for that sheep. And so that evidence of the total destruction of that lamb, that's what's going to be left of the people of Israel. Some people think of it as one, that there will be nothing left. That's the evidence, is like it'll just be emptiness. There will be nothing left of the people of Israel. And then in another way, they think that if there is something left of Israel, it's only going to be bits and pieces. Like it won't be, there will not be much. There will not be much of a remnant of the people of Israel after the Lord deals with them. That is how he's going to visit his punishment upon the people of Israel. Man. So, but that right there, that's tough. Because he comes after that and he says like, I think he says like that'll be the people of Israel. It says like they'll be on the corner of a couch or they'll be on the edge of a bed. That is it. There will be nothing left of them. So what can we find out about God in this is that God punishes sin, and he punishes it justly. So he brought evidence or witnesses to evidence what is going on in the land. And in that day for us as well, when we go before the throne of the Lord and we see him and he brings that judgment on it, will it be the things that he shows us that we've done in our lives to evidence the fact that we ain't getting in, we don't have a relationship with him, or will it be evidence of what Jesus has done that we'll be able to say, I follow the Christ. I believed in his sacrifice for me so that I no longer have my sins as the evidence, but I have his righteousness as mine. Because God judges justly. What about man? Well, I think it says that when we stray from God's law, even the evil doers look at us and say, how evil are they? How evil are they? When we stray from God's law, then we begin to look more and more like the world, and I dare say even worse. Even worse. It says they don't know right. Their mind is so skewed that they're taking these pagan rituals and thinking that it's honoring and glorifying God. And that is an abomination. That is defaming the name of God. And that is what they are doing in Israel. That is what they're doing in Israel. So, what is the application? Well, that we need to seek God. We need to read his word, study his scriptures to know him, more. And so today, man, if you listen to this, awesome, you have started that path already. But continue to dive deeper. Continue to jump in further. Read a little more in Amos, and then come back, and as we go through these words, man, read a little bit more. Because when we know a little bit more about him, then we can live that out in our lives. Because we'll know what is right. We'll know what is right. And so the key to that is be faithful to him as well. Be faithful. When you read something, let it change you and be faithful to change. Let that recognition stir change. And I thank you guys for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.